Welcome to episode 2 of Parenting Without Panic. I'm Jessica, and today we're talking all about homeschooling. Like it or not, many of us have been thrust into the role of homeschool teacher because of the current situation. I get how that can be a terrifying position to be in. How are we supposed to teach our kids all of the things they need to know when we can't even remember what we ate for breakfast this morning? Am I right? And for those of us with multiple children and an army of teachers sending a barrage of emails daily, it can easily begin to feel very overwhelming. Whether you see your new role as homeschool teacher as a short-lived assignment just to kick off the school year, or as a more long-term change for your family's future, there are some simple things that you can do now that will help set your family up for homeschool success. Now, I don't know how many of you know this, but before I was the next gen pastor at GSCC, I worked as a teacher in a public school. I taught 4th grade for many years, but I also spent time in a pre-K classroom and as a special education teacher for students in grades kindergarten through 6th grade. After my second child was born, I left the public school setting and I began tutoring and teaching children out of my home. Not only did I homeschool my own children for a season, but I also homeschooled other people's children as well. During those years as a public school teacher and the years as a homeschool teacher, I learned a few things that I would love to share with you today. And hopefully, you can glean something from my experiences that might help you navigate this new season as you learn to be a parent-teacher at home. So here are 3 tips to help you start this school year on the right foot. Number 1, plan to plan. Make time to create a schedule. Routine is so important for kids. It gives them a sense of security and stability when they know what to expect and what's coming next. So make a schedule. What time will everyone wake up and eat breakfast and get ready for the day? Even though you may never leave the house, it's still a good practice to have your kids follow a morning routine that involves them getting dressed and ready for whatever the day may bring. Make sure you plan enough time into your morning routine so that everyone is not stressed in the rush and chaos to get going. What time will school begin? When will you plan to take breaks? Now, let me stop here and add one word of caution. For all of you detail-oriented planners out there, don't get so focused on micromanaging the clock that you plan the entire day down to the minute. This approach will leave you stressed and frustrated every single day because inevitably, something will not go according to plan. Make your schedule, but plan to be flexible. Don't let your planned schedule have total control or it will take your family hostage and make you all hate the day. Remember, the purpose of the schedule is to create a sense of routine and stability, not to cause more stress for everyone in your home. Tip number 2, begin with the end in mind. What is your goal for this season that you're homeschooling your kids? Once you have that goal figured out, don't let the chaos of the day make you lose sight of it. If you start to feel overwhelmed, take a minute to pause and reflect on how you can continue to work toward that goal. If your goal is to help your child become a more confident reader, then schedule time into the day to read together as a family. If your goal is to simplify and enjoy more time together, then plan to eat together around the table, go for walks, or play games. If your goal is to have peace in your home, that change starts with you, your attitude, your words, and your actions. Ask God to give you wisdom and show you how to lead your family with an example of peace. And don't be surprised when your kids start pushing your buttons. They are kids after all. Make the choice to be the one to set the tone and the atmosphere in your home. Tip number 3, don't compare yourself or your family to other families. Stop trying to be like that perfect homeschool mom blogger that you've seen on social media. You're only seeing the picture-perfect image that she's sharing, but I promise you, even she has her bad days. Her kids cause her to get gray hair too. So be gracious with yourself and remember that God chose you to be your kid's parent. You have exactly what it takes to lead your kids well during this season. So here they are again. Tip number 1, plan to plan. Tip number 2, begin with the end in mind. And tip number 3, don't compare. I will end with this one final thought. This is just a season. It won't last forever. One day you will look up and your children will be adults. So choose to make the most of this moment in time. Stop looking at this season as a burden and choose to see it as a blessing, a gift from God. We have this incredible opportunity to invest in our kids like we never have before, so don't miss it. Choose to be positive, lean on God for guidance and strength, and choose to lead your family from a position of peace, not panic. Thank you so much for joining me today for Parenting Without Panic. Be sure to join me next week as we talk about 3 traditional school rules that you need to let go of immediately. Subscribe to this channel and enable notifications so that you don't miss a single episode. And don't forget to click the link in the description below to register for our live Zoom calls. And if you know parents in your circle who would like to join our community, I invite you to share this video with them on social media so that they can be a part too. I would love to hear from you. Leave me a comment below or ask a question that you would like answered, and you may even get a shout out in a future episode. I can't wait to see you next time. Until then, take a note from Philippians 4 verses 6 and 7. Don't worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. Tell God what you need and thank Him for all that He has done. Then you will experience God's peace, which exceeds everything you can understand. His peace will guard your hearts and minds as you live in Christ Jesus. See you next time.